Liverpool FC have had an absolutely crazy summer transfer window. They've brought in Dominic Szoboszlai from RB Leipzig, Alexis McAllister from Brighton, and Waruto Endo from Stuttgart in one of the most bizarre transfers in this summer transfer window. They've very publicly went for Romeo Lavia and failed to agree a deal. They then turned their attention to Moises Caicedo and offered £110 million, which would have been a record-breaking transfer deal, only for Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia to turn Liverpool down, both in order to force through moves to Chelsea, with Chelsea eventually completing deals for both Caicedo and Lavia, and the Caicedo deal actually being a British transfer record deal. So with all that being said, Liverpool have actually had a very underwhelming summer transfer window, and they still need another centre midfielder. So we are going to rebuild Liverpool FC over in FIFA 23, but with a twist. We can only sign one player from each league in FIFA 23. So let's jump over now to FIFA 23 and take Liverpool back to Champions League glory. So welcome boys to the FIFA 23 Liverpool rebuilder. We can only sign one player from each league in FIFA 23. This is how the default team is looking on paper, but as you know, in real life, players like Jordan Henderson, James Milner, Fabinho, Roberto Firmino have all left Liverpool, so our first order of business is to get all them players out of Liverpool Football Club. Sort of very, very sad summer indeed for Liverpool FC, seeing some club legends leave like Jordan Henderson, but I don't think anyone would have been sad to see Naby Keita leave. He had a disastrous spell at the football club. So this is the Liverpool team that we have decided to use going in for the new season. As you can see, new signings McAllister and Szoboszlai are in the starting 11. We're going with a 4-3-3 attack this season. And in all honesty, lads, this squad is actually really, really good and should be challenging at least for top 4 in the Premier League. We've got some world-class players like Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, Mohamed Salah and Luis Diaz. In that department, we're actually alright. We definitely need, though, one more, in my opinion, world-class centre-back and a world-class centre midfielder to really take Liverpool to that next level. And with £167 million transfer budget in our kitty, I don't think we're going to struggle at all to bring any of our targets in this summer. So, lads, as we know, Liverpool missed out on Romeo Lavia and Moises Caicedo to Chelsea. So we've had to dip into a different league to bring in a centre midfielder to improve Liverpool's chances of winning the Premier League this season. And we have brought in Bayern Munich stalwart Leon Goretzka for £57 million, lads. I am over the moon with this signing. Now, looking at Leon Goretzka's stat, lads, he is an absolute physical animal. Just look at them stats, boys. And then if we go into his skill attributes as well, he's very good dribbling, finishing, long shots, short pass, shot power. This guy is an absolute monster, lads, and he definitely takes our midfield to that next level. Now, looking at the squad, lads, we definitely need one more centre-back, as Matip's aging, Van Dijk's aging, Joe Gomez isn't good enough, and the only young, good, solid centre-back we have is Ibrahim Konate. So that will be what we're looking for next in the transfer window, boys. And with the signing of Leon Goretzka, lads, that means we cannot sign any more players from the Bundesliga throughout this entire career mode. And honestly, lads, now, looking at this squad after bringing in Leon Goretzka, I think it looks very, very strong on paper. And what I'm thinking about doing is simulating forward now to January the 1st and see how we are getting on in the Premier League before we use the remainder of our transfer budget, as I think that squad's good enough to at least be challenging for the Premier League title. And lads, before we get into the Premier League season, as you can see, we have beat Manchester City in the Community Shield, meaning we've already got our first trophy of the career mode. And it doesn't get much harder to start the Premier League season off. We have got Manchester City at Anfield. That should be a cracking first game of the season. And our first outgoing of the career mode so far, boys, Stefan Bajcetic will be joining Brighton on a season-long loan. Quickly followed by that, Curtis Jones will be joining Atletico Bilbao on a 2-year loan as well. So, lads, I think I should know that European competitions are disabled for this first season. I've done this because I just want to make it a bit more difficult. I don't want to start off in the Champions League. I want to earn our right to play in the Champions League instead of just being thrown in at the start, as after all, this is a challenge career mode. Just to let you know, boys, Fabio Carvalho has joined Strasbourg on a season-long loan. And 3 games into the Premier League season, we have won all 3. We've reached deadline day, lads. We're top of the Premier League. We're going to simulate forward now to January the 1st, and hopefully we are still top of the Premier League. So, boys, we've arrived at January the 1st, and as you can see, we are second in the Premier League, only 3 points behind Manchester City, but they do have a game in hand on us, unfortunately. We've played 21 games, won 13, drawn 6, lost 2, and we're behind the reigning champions by just 3 points. We are also into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, so it'll be interesting to see if we can get 2 pieces of silverware at least this season. You know, like the idiot I am, lads, I have unfortunately forgot to put Luton, Burnley and Sheffield United into the Premier League. I do apologise for this, lads. Just completely slipped my mind. Now, as I sit second in the Premier League, lads, as we can see, the squad is actually looking incredible on paper. But as we look to the subs bench, it isn't really that strong, lads. We don't have a brilliant backup goalkeeper. Virgil van Dijk is 31. Joel Matip is 31. I'm thinking, do we bring in a world-class centre-back with an eye on Van Dijk and Matip eventually starting to drop in overall? So, lads, we have been scouring through the leagues looking for world-class centre-backs, and it's something that we are going to make happen in the transfer window, lads. We do need a centre-back. All of our centre-backs are aging besides Kanate. Let's get one into the club. Lads, we have brought in a world-class centre-back from the Serie A, so that means now we cannot bring any players in from the Bundesliga or Serie A. But this signing, lads, is one I just could not turn down. A man who is somehow not in the England squad. We have brought in Fikayo Tomori from AC Milan. Tomori joins Liverpool for £61 million in a bargain deal, boys. It's not the best deal on paper. The board think we could have saved nearly £10 million, but it's definitely better than all the centre-backs we have besides Van Dijk. So with Tomori signing, boys, that is how our back four is looking. Robertson, Van Dijk, Tomori and Alexander-Arnold. Beautiful back four on paper, lads. I'm happy with this squad now, boys. I'm going to simulate forward to the end of the season. Hopefully, we're holding the Premier League come the end of the season. So, lads, we have arrived at the end of season 1, and as you can see, we have won the Premier League. What a season for the Reds. Beating Manchester City to the Premier League title by just 2 points. What a season. Lads, I am absolutely buzzing with that. But as you can see in the top left corner, if somebody got poor manager rating, how? We've won the Premier League. And oh my God, lads, it just gets even better. We've actually won the FA Cup as well, beating Nottingham Forest 3-0 in the final. Nah, I'm gone. Done a treble in the first season. We've actually done a treble in the first season. We've won the Premier League, FA Cup and Carabao Cup in the first season. We've won the 2 signings, Goretzka and Tomori. Oh, just imagine if we'd actually put us in Champions League. It'd be a 1-season rebuild. We'd be done. We'd literally be done now. What a season, lads, honestly. And I look to the stats, lads. Mo Salah, he is just the main man in Liverpool. And if 51 games played, 35 goals, 11 assists. What a season for Mo Salah. Diaz gets 17 and 7. Nunes 15 and 3. Goretzka 11 and 6. Szoboszlai 9 and 6. And it really falls off from there, lads. So we completed all of our objectives this season, but we're somehow in poor manager rating. Not really too sure how that one works, lads. Let's get into season 2 and win that Champions League. So we've arrived in season 2, boys, and as you can see, after winning a treble, right, after winning a domestic treble in England, we have got poor manager rating. I really hope in EA Sports FC 24, career mode is actually fixed and patched, because it is so buggy in FIFA 23. How can we have poor manager rating off winning 3 domestic cups and a community shield? Makes no sense, lads. This is how the squad's looking, boys, going into season 2. It's very strong on paper. And to be honest, the only position I think that's really up for grabs is Alexis McAllister's. Other midfielders, Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott, are out on loan for 2 seasons. So I'm thinking, do we bring in another world-class centre midfielder and drop Alexis McAllister to the bench? Because he didn't really have the best season stats-wise last year. And with £140 million as our transfer budget, we could actually bring in any centre midfielder that we want, except players from the Bundesliga or Serie A. So let's have a real think about which centre midfielder we want to bring in. And lads, the transfer offers are coming in. £71 million for Andy Robertson and £122 million for Darwin Núñez. Both being rejected, both being blocked for future transfer offers. And oh my God, boys, in real life, the signing of Waraturo Endo of Liverpool might seem a little bit like pointless or underwhelming. Lads, I have just used Endo as like a paperweight in a deal to bring in one of the best midfielders in the world, and I cannot believe this deal has actually worked. What a signing I've just made for Liverpool. Lads, I have just brought in Federico Valverde from Real Madrid for £131 million plus Waraturo Endo. And now, lads, just look at that midfield three of Szoboszlai, Goretzka and Valverde. Wow, what a signing. Look at Valverde's stats. 89 pace, 85 shooting, 84 passing, 84 dribbling, 81 defending, 84 physical, 4-star weak foot, high work rates, lads, 6 foot as well. What a signing we've just made there, boys. And with the signing of Valverde done, we have literally only got £2 million of a £140 million budget remaining, so there'll be no more incoming to Liverpool this summer. The only further outgoings that could take place in the transfer window is players leaving on loan or young high potential players getting valuable minutes all across the world. Now, before I completely forget, lads, the objectives are in for this season. We have got a lot of youth development objectives, but they're all only low priority. The real high priorities in brand exposure, continental continental success, domestic success and financial. They want us to get 20 wins in the league and sell 3 players. I think that's pretty easy, to be fair. Win the Champions League. I'm not asking for much there. Win the Premier League and win the FA Cup again. Reduce player wages by 260 grand a week. We've already failed that. And increase the club worth by 25% through player sales and competition and prize money. Hopefully we can get that done this season. So yeah, no pressure going into this season, lads. As you can see, lads, we have won the Community Shield against Manchester City for the 2nd year running. It is our trophy, that Community Shield, isn't it? And lads, we have accepted multiple loan offers for Zet van der Berg, Aurier, Norris and Dowak. They will all be leaving the club on loan this season. And also, lads, I forgot to mention, with the signing of Valverde, that means we cannot sign any players now from the Bundesliga, Serie A, and La Liga. Our Champions League group is also in, lads, and do you know what? It is not an easy group. We've got RB Leipzig, Benfica, and RB Salzburg, but that is a very interesting group because the two Red Bull clubs, Leipzig and Salzburg, will have to play each other in the group stage. That should be a very, very intense affair. And we have had a mass of outgoings on loan this season, lads. We're going to quickly run through them. Sepp van der Berg has joined West Ham on a season-long loan. James Norris has joined Swansea on a season-long loan. Arroyo has joined Stade Rennais on loan. Ben Doak has joined Levante on loan. And also Conor Bradley has joined Fiorentina on season-long loan as well. Without further ado, boys, we're going to simulate forward to January the 1st. Hopefully we're through our Champions League group and hopefully we're still top of the Premier League. So we're out of January the 1st, boys, and as you can see, it has been a bit of a disaster so far this season. We sit third in the Premier League. 21 played, 13 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses, 30 goals conceded. Our defence has been a major problem this season. We were knocked out of the Carabao Cup by arch rivals Manchester United 3-2 in the quarterfinals as well, so we will not be retaining our Carabao Cup crown. We've only got £26 million as well to bring players in, so I think, lads, we're not actually going to be able to bring anyone in the transfer window. Thankfully, lads, we did qualify for our Champions League group, finishing second, getting 13 points from 6 games. RB Leipzig won the group, and we will play Bayer Leverkusen in the round of 16. Not an easy game at all, lads. The squad on paper, though, boys, is looking absolutely incredible. We've now got a 90 rated Alisson, 91 rated Salah, 89 rated Alexander-Arnold and Valverde, 87 Tomori. The squad, wow, that is an amazing starting 11. We're going to simulate forward now to the end of the season, lads, and hopefully we've got some silverware, top of the Premier League, and in the Champions League final. We cannot, can't we? So we've reached the end of season 2, lads, and looking at our manager rating, things have gone massively wrong this season. We finished second in the Premier League. We only finished 5 points off tabletop with Manchester United, so I don't understand why the board are so angry. We only lost 5 times all season. I think by looking at that, though, it means we've probably done really, really poorly in the Cups. We won the FA Cup beating Manchester City 4-0, so I wonder why the board are so angry. We've come second and won a cup. Carabao Cup was won by Manchester City, and then all Manchester final they won on penalties. The Champions League was won by AC Milan, meaning that we must have got knocked out at some point. Wasn't the semis, wasn't even the quarters. Wow, we were knocked out 4-3 on aggregate in the round of 16 by Bayer Leverkusen. No wonder the board are so angry. Atletico Madrid won the Europa League, and Marseille won the Conference League. Look at the starting 11, boys. It is so good, the starting 11. We've got 91 rated Valverde, 91 rated Salah, 91 rated Alisson, plenty of 89 rated players in Nunes, Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold, 88 Goretzka and Tomori, and Diaz, Robertson as well. The squad, lads. That should be winning everything, that squad. In terms of player stats, Darwin Nunes, wow, we've got 56 goal contributions in 56 games. That is an absolutely incredible return, 46 and 10. Diaz got 30 and 18. What a season for the Colombian. Salah's fell off a bit this season. Still had an amazing season though. 24 and 13, 37 goal involvements. Valverde 12 and 7, and Trent with 5 and 10. And it really, really falls off there after that, lads. And with the board rating being so low, lads, I don't even think we'll be able to take charge of Liverpool in season 3. Let's sim forward and hopefully we're still the manager of Liverpool FC. Right, so we're in season 3, lads, and as of right now, we do actually still have a job, but only just. I do genuinely think this squad is good enough to win the Premier League and Champions League this season, but fun purposes, I am going to bring in a new cam instead of Szoboszlai. He's 86 rated. We've got a huge transfer budget. Again, we're going to make the most of it, and hopefully that signing of a new cam will push us on to Champions League glory. So we do have £119 million this summer, so we should be bringing in a world-class cam with that money. And lads, we have had a huge bid come in for Dominic Szoboszlai. We're being told we can get 110 million for him. I'm going to tell the assistant manager to try to get at least 100 million for Dominic Szoboszlai, and I'll be happy with that. Then we can start looking at bringing in a new cam with well over 200 million. So Szoboszlai could be leaving the club in this transfer window. Lads, the unthinkable has happened. We've been sacked as Liverpool manager. Despite winning a treble in our first season, finishing second and winning an FA Cup in the second season, we've been sacked. That's the first time on a rebuild we've been sacked so far. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. I think going forward in EA Sports FC, they need to really revamp the whole objective system. That's bollocks. Win a treble one season, win FA Cup second, come second in the league. That's bollocks. You shouldn't be getting sacked for that. I don't know what's going to happen now. I think that highlights a really, really key issue with FIFA 23. The management system is so poor in career mode. You get sacked for such bullshit. Like, how can you win a treble one season, an FA Cup the second, finish second, qualify for Champions League, complete most of the objectives, and somehow still end up sacked just literally for not winning the league? I think that's pretty bullshit, and hopefully in EA Sports FC 24, they massively revamp that management confidence system, because it's bugged in player career mode as well. If you watch my player career mode videos, you'll know it is an absolutely bugged system. You can score 30 goals a season, and because you've not reached your match objectives, you get no manager rating. It's bollocks, lads. It needs to be sorted in the next FIFA. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps me out, and keep an eye out for the next rebuild, which will probably be another Big Six Premier League club. Cheers for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.